Okay, main event time. Go on, what's your pick?
Oh, straight off. Vicente Luque.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why?
From their first fight, I do think Belal's probably learnt a lot from that, and I don't think he would get caught with that again. I think they're both grown as fighters for sure since they first fought, but I just think Vicente's a little bit better than him.
It's just like a little bit better everywhere.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
and I think as well as Belal learning from that fight and developing as a fighter in the division, like growing into the division, I just think Vicente Luque's done the same thing, but he's fought a higher caliber of opponent.
Yeah.
And now I think Belal's fighting that caliber of opponent. I don't think he'll win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think it'll be more competitive than their first fight. Yeah, that was like a minute 20, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Vicente Luque caught him with that counter hook. And that for me was a turning point for Belal Muhammad. So he's definitely going to be a better fighter coming in. But I would also imagine that that's of all the fights on his record and what he's got 3 losses. This is the only stoppage loss. I bet he has a lot going on in his mind, in his subconscious link to this fight and this opponent. Because it's like, this is my opportunity to get one back. Thinking back to all the differences between who he is now and who he was when he first stepped in there against Luque. Like, I'm always fascinated when it comes to rematches to know where the person's mind is at, and obviously we never do. And sometimes they won't be honest with themselves either. They'll say things that they want to hear themselves say, but they won't believe it. And you just don't know whether Belal Muhammad looks at Vicente Luque and he's like, I don't want to trade with him. Like, I've gotten better, but that's a power that I can't deal with. Because as we were talking about in the war room, like, Vicente Luque is a finisher. Like, 21 wins, he's got 2 decisions, and Belal Muhammad's like 3/4 of his wins go the distance. I feel like Vicente Luque is a little bit further on in his career and a little bit more dangerous everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because obviously the Wonderboy fight, Belal Wonderboy has controlled him.
Yeah.
But he only really did that because he knows the threat of Wonderboy on the feet, and that's the best way to beat him. But towards the end of that fight, Belal was getting a bit tired, and I think Vicente Luque is a bit more of a threat being taken down. He's got Darce choke finishes, and so I think if Belal does decide to take it there, then he's at more risk than he was in the Wonderboy fight.
Absolutely, it's a bit of a like where do you think it's like top trumps, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like, well, my grappling number's good, my striking number's good, but he could be better at either or both. So which one am I going to go with? Which one do I take a chance on? The thing is, regardless of which direction he goes with it, like, his pace has to be a part of his game plan. Like, he has to work harder than Vicente Luque and do it in such a smart way so he's not vulnerable to Vicente Luque's power. I feel like his margins for error are narrower on the striking range, and I feel like because he got punished in striking range before, he might choose to want to grapple and play a bit more like he did against Wonderboy. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if we see Vicente Luque defending takedowns against the fence for the first couple of rounds before Belal Muhammad then starts to look tired and then starts to have to strike. But by this point, he's already spent his energy trying to take him down and has not been successful. And as you said, even if it does hit the floor, we know that Vicente Luque's got good skills. Like, Chiesa took him down, he reversed it, escaped the back, and then Darced him. And my only criticism is that his Darce chokes they're not the most technical. And I do feel like Belal Muhammad is a good grappler and he's very aware. So he might be able to either kind of hold out and let Vicente Luque tire himself out trying with a Darce, or he might just be able to use that to get top position. Because the Darce choke that he used on Chiesa and on Tyron Woodley, although he was kind of cramped up against the fence against Woodley, had that Darce choke not worked, had that grip of the hand on the bicep slipped off, he would have not only lost the choke, but he'd have lost top position. Like, think back to when Korean Zombie Darced Poirier. He was on top, laying on the side of his head.
Yeah.
And Vicente Luque is always underneath, trying to pull them into it. So he's not using gravity. I mean, he's got gravity of his arms, but when you're on top, you've got gravity of your whole body, and you're already in a better position to scramble. So I don't want to underestimate Belal Muhammad, because I do think he's got good grappling, good wrestling, good conditioning. But I do wonder whether he's prepared for 5 rounds. Like, he's only been matched once for 5 rounds. That was Leon, and it didn't, only just got into the second.
Yeah, I feel if he's having to work the takedowns and it's not working from like the first round onwards, I think he's just gonna like I said in the Wonderboy fight, in that 3rd round, he got caught a couple of times, but he managed just to get the takedown. But then, in that situation, both guys are tired anyway. But yeah, I think he's got to be really, really good with his management with his energy.
Yeah, for sure. I'm taking Vicente Luque.
Yeah, same.
I think he might get another stoppage,
Yeah.
I think he might stop him again.
I can see it being, if Vicente Luque doesn't finish him, I can see it being a bit of a war, for sure.
Yeah.
I think, but yeah, I think even if it goes a distance, I think Vicente would probably take the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his shots are going to look more meaningful as well. Like Belal Muhammad against Lyman Good, that footwork he was using on the outside, like darting across and stinging and switching his stance and stinging, that might work all day against Vicente Luque if he can do it all day. And that's where I don't think he can. And I also think every time he steps in, there's a risk of getting countered. So that's why he might start to grapple. And I think you're right. Like if he feels like he's trying to grapple and he's not being successful and he has to strike, then there's an additional level of panic that comes with that. Yeah. I'm taking Vicente Luque.
Yeah, same
sure.
here.
I think he's probably going to stop him like late 3rd, I think.
Yeah.
But I could see him losing the 1st, like just based on Belal Muhammad's insistence on wrestling. But...
Yeah. I do like how Belal, like that control he had against Wonderboy, where he's like almost inside, but on his back, and Wonderboy's like up against the fence, and he's just
and he's just whacking him.
Yeah. I do like that kind of control he has over his opponents, but I can't see him doing that against Vicente.
No,
sure.
No, me neither.